Last night, my ex-mother-in-law died. And the night before she died, I fell apart and I didn't know why. I cried a million tears. I felt anxiety I don't normally feel. I felt a self-doubt that is not mine. A loneliness so deep it didn't feel like my own. And then this morning, I got the message. She was gone. And suddenly everything made sense. Hi. I'm Uma, and today I'm not going to teach you from a textbook. I'm going to teach you from last night. Right now, I'm living in my ex-husband's flat. I'm taking care of my teenage daughter while he's on vacation with his new girlfriend. I'm in the middle of a divorce. I'm between flats. I have more work than I can carry, and I'm surrounded by 17 years of emotional memory in these walls. My energetic system, my defenses, my clarity, my center, they're stretched thin. And that matters because when we are stretched thin, we create openings. Not big ones, sometimes just tiny, unresolved cracks. Small uncertainty here, a moment of self-doubt there, things we haven't had time to look at because life's just too much right now. And into those openings, other people's emotions can pour. Let me explain what I mean by that, because it's important, especially if you are a sensitive person. As we've talked about in this series before, emotions are energy. They want to move, they want to be felt. And when a person has never learned to feel their emotions, when they're emotionally avoidant, when their system is overwhelmed, those emotions don't disappear. They're overflowing. They leak out of the energetic field of that person and they look for somewhere to go. And as sensitive people, people like me, maybe like you, we are open receivers. We feel everything. We pick up what's in the room, what's in the field, what's in the people we are connected to. Ose, my ex-mother-in-law, she was alone. She had never learned to love herself. She carried anxiety and loneliness her whole life, and she had no one who could hold that space for her emotionally. Not her son, not herself. And she was dying, and her emotions, her loneliness, her self-doubt, her fear, they needed to go somewhere. And I had a small opening, and that's all it takes. When I tap into her now, I feel her loneliness, how lonely she was when she died, and how little she believed she was worthy of being loved, and how she left this world carrying that question, do people love me? Am I lovable? And the answer also is yes, you mattered. You were lovable. You just never had anyone that helped you to feel that for yourself. And that's what matters. That's why emotional literacy matters, because she didn't have it and she couldn't pass it on. And her son, my ex-husband, he carries the same wound. And it rippled into our marriage and it rippled into last night. This is how unhealed emotions travel through families, through fields, through the people who are sensitive enough to receive them. If you are a sensitive person watching this, I want you to hear this clearly. When you suddenly feel emotions that don't feel like yours, anxiety out of nowhere, a sadness that has no name, a loneliness that doesn't match your life, stop. Ask yourself, is this mine? Check your body. Where are you uncleared right now? Where do you have a small uncertainty, a small wound, a small thing you haven't had time to look at? Because that's the opening. That is your responsibility. And the emotion that you are feeling may belong to someone else entirely. So this is not weakness, this is sensitivity, and sensitivity is a gift when you know how to work with it. And if you are someone who avoids emotions, if you push them down, if you stay in your head, if feelings feel dangerous or overwhelming, I want you to understand something. Your emotions don't disappear just because you ignore them. They build, they overflow, and they affect the people around you, especially the sensitive ones who love you. This is not blame. This is information, because the sensitive person in your life who suddenly cries or feels anxious or feels your pain before you do, they're not dramatic, they're not weak. They are picking up what you haven't been able to feel yet. You're two sides of the same coin. One is avoidant, one is sensitive. And the sensitive person and the emotionally avoidant person, they're not opposites who don't belong together. They're mirrors. They just look outwards. One feels everything, one feels nothing. And in the middle, in the inside, if we are both willing to look inward instead of outward, there's the connection, there's the understanding, there's the possibility of real intimacy. The sensitive person learns to protect their openings by clearing what is uncleared and by asking, is this mine? And what of it is mine? And the emotionally avoidant person learns that their unfelt emotions have a cost, not just for themselves, which is intense enough, but for the people who love them. We are all one coin. We just have to find the courage to look at both sides and not blame each other for this system. Learn more about how that works and how you truly can communicate with each other to reconnect. Don't make emotionally avoidant people your enemies. And don't make emotional sensitive people weak because they feel. It's just not the case. Feeling emotions is strength. Facing emotions and allowing them and learning about them is strength. Just be willing to find a good communication and be open to seeing the world in a different facet than you see the world in the people you are with. And also, I felt your loneliness last night. I cried your tears. And I hope that somewhere in whatever comes after this life for you, you finally feel how lovable you always were. Rest now. If this touched something in you, follow, like, and share, because someone in your life needs to hear this too. I see you in the next video.